Hello, it's Fabric Tip Friday again. This week, I'm not going to be able to do this justice by no means. It's just going to be introductory to some other stuff I'm going to do in the future. You can't teach anybody to paint over a video, because if that's true, I would have watched a video and learned how to paint and how to have troubles. I have a lot of guys call, new guys, and they're to the point they say, well, what do you mean by orange peel? Everybody has their different ideas of orange peel. Some of the guys through the paint companies talk about certain kinds of orange peel can be buffed out and some can't. Well, when it gets down to it, what they're talking about is overspray can be buffed out. Orange peel to me is you just didn't get the flow when the paint laid down to the surface. I'm going to try to get with some professional painters and put a series to really help the guys, and we're going to do one on Zon cup mixing and flow and viscosity of paint and everything. Overspray is just, to me, just that. You've painted something and you've let paint kind of go out on the top of something that wasn't supposed to be there. I can literally take usually a compound or a waxing compound if it's still kind of fresh paint and can kind of clean that off. Orange peel, these are just cards. A lot of times when I'm trying to, silver's the worst one, when I'm trying to match one and I do a pour down, well, I need to go mix it in a gun and do a spray down on a 120 card or something to see how it looks, to try to get a match. When someone's doing a repair, they'll always send me something and it's not our paint, but they're repairing it with Airtech. And that's what these spray downs are for. And a lot of times I have done something or I've tweaked something over here and the gun starts to catalyze. That's one situation that you'll get an orange peel because the paint's getting thick and it's not flowing out. This one, before I threw it away, one day I saw it and I just kept it for this. This is what I call orange peel. The color's down and it did what I wanted to do, but I always look at the reflection in the light of the light up there and just look at that reflection and there's that little mottled effect. It is still shiny and everything. And I've seen many airplanes turn out beautiful that has some orange peel in it. I've seen some professional factory airplanes that just, I come up and look at it and I'm like, my gosh, but then you look at the whole airplane and it looks great, it looks fine. But that's what, when I tell someone about orange peel. This one, a lot of times I'd be happy if my plane come out with no trash or something, but if you look at this one, if you look at the reflection of that light, it's orange peel too, but it's more of a mottled, just a little bitty humps. And that light up there, you just look at that light real closely, and a lot of times to stop that, your first thought is to thin it more, and that usually works. But around here, we've really experimented with it to the point that you can get it too thin, that the reducer is coming off of the paint and there's not enough paint left there to really do the flow together. A lot of times what I look at is the gun you're using, and HVLP guns are everywhere. They're great, but unless you've got them really set right with the right kind of tip to atomize the paint so it's as small of droplets as it can be, and then they can flow together. When you blow them great big droplets out like a lot of HVLP does at low pressure, they blow them globs out, and you got to wait on them to flow out slick. And if you're painting something vertical, it makes it even more. Not that I tried or didn't try, but this was a red I was working on here a few weeks back, and it just happened to be kind of mixed about right out of the gun. You look at the reflection of the light, and it just be a crisp, everything will be smooth. Usually when this happens with me and it turns out smooth, then this bionic bug comes in after you go home, and it wants to walk all over the wing, and then you've ruined the wing, So it's, I tell everybody, every time you think you've about got something figured out, something's going to mess things up. But this is just a short one on telling the guys, the guys that don't quite understand when we talk about orange peel. And I don't fully understand it. I just know what sometimes makes it happen and sometimes doesn't. I know with Airtech, and I believe it's in other, I've painted with I think I've used every process out there. And every paints I think are like this too, that sometimes even different colors and different weights of pigments act different when you spray them. Some of ours that has a pearl in it, you may have to spray that just a little different than you do another, because all of these are single stage. But that's just a quick one out there, just to kind of show someone when they call me, or someone that's still apprehensive about building them a Super Cub or a Kit Fox or painting a metal airplane, that there's some satisfaction in knowing that you held the gun and you painted the airplane. And I hope to do some more in-depth stuff on painting, and maybe someday, maybe do some seminars someplace with someone that really, you know, I have about 24 really good shops that use Airtech that probably could work with me on doing something like this, that, you know, just the finer points of spraying a single stage paint like this. But thank you.